All right, well, welcome. Today we're going to do a deep analysis on the S&P gold and silver, and we're going to have a look at platinum natural gas, and if there are any questions or any other charts we want to have a look at, we will do so. But it's likely that the S&P and metals are going to take up a big chunk of time. But let's see what we have time for. So this is the S&P chart that we've been trading, and we can see that we've actually come in quite close to potentially the bottom of this B wave. So I have cleaned this chart up, so I want to go back to the beginning of this micro fourth wave. We have the fifth wave of the third. We have an A, B, C, so a diagonal for wave 1, wave 2, another A, B, C for the third, then the fourth, and then we have what looks like 5 waves up to either complete the fifth of the third wave, or like the other structures, just the A wave, which is my primary, the B wave, and we still have one more leg higher towards this 4,630 level to complete wave 3, micro 3 at least, before we get the wave 4 pullback, this box of support will move higher, should we get this next leg higher, and then ultimately complete the wave 3 of the bigger picture up towards the 5,000-ish level before we get another pullback in the wave 4. So how am I trading this? Ideally, I would love to see one more low towards the 4,420 level and then another push higher. Taking longs in this region is low risk in a sense, because as long as we hold above this white 4, the setup is there for one more high. Should we break this white 4, then we're likely already in the bigger wave 4, which I'm going to go over in more detail on the bigger structure chart. And if that's the case, we're likely heading towards this 4,050 level before we get the next leg higher. So looking at the micro, it looks like we still only have 3 waves up off the micro low of the high of yesterday. Off the low of yesterday, we only have 3 waves up. So if we can hold where we are pretty much now and get a 5th wave, there is a good chance that the bottom has already been struck. And if so, I might take some longs against this low struck yesterday. But from a purist perspective, I would love to see one more drop towards this trend line. And if so, I'll be looking for longs around here. So where does this fit in with the bigger picture? Where are we in the actual bigger picture in S&P? And these are the 2 charts I've been tracking pretty much off the lows. We've sort of had these charts and been playing out perfectly, but are we in the red or are we in the white count? Now, the red is my primary at the moment, but that doesn't mean that the white count should be ignored. So looking at the red count, we go back to the corona lows. We had our first leg of the high, wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, 2, then a 1, 2, 3, 4, finishing off the wave 5 of circle 3, and this is the wave 4 that we're talking about before we get the 5th of the third. And if you can see from the fibs, it's followed pretty well. I mean, we're pretty much in this region. Again, the extension, the 5th of the third, which is towards the 4,649 level, which would match what we're seeing on the micro to get that one more high before the 4th top out in the 5th of the third, 4th wave, and then the final top in the S&P around the 5,054, 5,600, 700 level. Now, that and the Y count are very similar. Okay, these are the fibs on the left for the red count. The fib is on the left for the Y count, which shows this was all of wave 3, wave 4, and this was the top of wave 1. And if that's the case, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're still in wave 3, with third of third targeting 4,955 level before we get the wave 4 pullback, 5th of the third up to 5,493, around the 4,6 level, and then the ultimate top in the S&P up towards the $6,000 level. We often do see massive and significant extensions in 5th waves. The final 5th wave is the top, where it can sort of give us a blow-off top. So we can even see higher levels. This could go 6, 5, 7. until we get a confirmed top, I don't want to say this is going to be the top in this region, but again, we can worry about that when we get there. So it's pretty clear from this that I do not see, despite all the top callers that I'm seeing all over the place right now, that the S&P's topped, it's going for a big pullback, the top's close, it's in. I still think we've got ways to go before that is the case. So I'm not expecting that, and I must say that we've still got, however we slice and dice it, whether it's a red or the white count, we've still got higher levels to go, in my opinion. So yeah, if we do get this fourth wave towards this 4.2 level, again, I think it's a good buying opportunity, at least for this 4.6, 4.8 level. I mean, even ultimately targeting the 5,000 level. But seeing we are on a diagonal, it's clearly a diagonal here, that so if I go back to the other chart, you can see why I said it's a diagonal. There's an ABC. So this is obviously an ending diagonal to complete this wave 3. And that's why the structure here has been very difficult to trade, because we don't always complete the structure. So it's very well possible that this is the top. But that's totally fine, because we can use stop losses around this 4.353 level, whatever it is. Don't know it exactly, 4.360 odd. We can use stop losses levels below there, because we know as long as we're above here, potential remains for higher, and it only takes a break up here to tell us we're in the zone. If we are pulling back here, this will be a very big buying opportunity, in my opinion, for the $5,000-ish level. So I'm still incredibly bullish S&P. It's just because of this diagonal structure, it's been a lot harder to trade. I did make a note live in my room that we sold around this region from our swing position, and then we bought back here, which we signaled this trade live in the room, and then I sold out around here most of my longer term stuff. And this is when I'm starting to get interested again for the first time, where this is my region to take longs against here, and this is my region to load up my swing positions again, should we see it. So even if we do go up here and we do hit this box, I'm still expecting a significant pullback in wave 4 if we do make one more high first. So it's not, from a swing basis, this is not a must-buy level, so to say. It's more of a trade. But this is the box that I want to be focusing on should we see the next big pullback occur. I'm seeing lots of stories come out about debt ceiling, so perhaps that's going to be the trigger for this wave 4. Perhaps it's going to be tapering. Who knows what the media are going to come up with, but I'm sure we'll get a great news event for this wave 4. And it could be a drawn-out process. It doesn't mean it's going to go drop in a straight line and go, but either way, this is a support box I'll be looking to get aggressive on. Everyone happy with the S&P? Any questions on that? All right, we're going to move on. Let's look at gold. So it's clear from gold. So again, I'm going to start on the micro setups. The setups we've been looking at short term, and I'm going to delve into what I'm seeing on the bigger picture. Now, gold is clearly in a bit of a mess right now. This is not an impulse off the lows. It doesn't matter how you slice and dice this. This is not an impulse, which means the blue count is in jeopardy. I mean, it can get a slight lower low and still revive. You can see we failed at our first resistance level we marked out last week. This is our second resistance level, and this would be our target for this fifth wave in a diagonal. So if gold's going to resurrect this blue count, I'd probably expect to see, or I'd like to see it, not form a diagonal, to see a lower low, a slight lower low to the 74, 77 region, and then continue and complete this blue count, and then ultimately complete the 3, 4, and then the 5. However, this white count, being that this was already the top of wave 1, and we're going to see a quick drop into this region for wave 2 before we ultimately push higher. Now, from a trade perspective, this has become very difficult because this is a mess. This is not an impulse, so it's hard to take this as a low in. And I'm hoping if we do see a slight lower low, we can get 5 waves up and then a retrace, which will allow us to trade for this. Alternatively, I will be looking for longs in this region. Ideally, the 1732 holds, but it is valid above the low. So this is the setup. Now, what does this mean on the bigger picture? This is very, very important that we all understand what this means on the bigger picture, and I'm going to be very thorough explaining this. So we saw this big drop which held just above the low. Now, that's often a warning sign of it being a B wave when it goes that deep, and we're looking for a potential C wave higher before we potentially drop one more time. But it is also possible that this low will hold, and I do have this old 2 down towards a 1300, 1470 level. So let me explain why. Let me explain all these things in detail from the beginning. Sorry, my computer seems to be quite slow. So apologies for that. So I'm looking at this, ignore the minor detail here. So off the 2015 low, we have our first leg higher in gold, which is wave 1, wave 2. The Y count is my primary. Wave 1 of 3, wave 2 of 3, wave 3 of 3, wave 4, wave 1, 2, microwave 3. This is our wave 4 until we get the next leg higher to complete wave 3 of the bigger picture, a wave 4 and a wave 5. So this is my primary, which ultimately targets around the 2,400, 2,500 level. But it is important to acknowledge that we can count this slightly differently as well. And this is why I've got, I would be more confident with this Y count had we sort of held and started this impulse, but this is taking a long time for a microwave 4. I mean, we do expect wave 4s to drag out, but this is getting quite deep and is taking a long time, which is why I want to show you some potentials and why I have this red count and this blue count on my chart. So it is possible this was a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 1, 2. This was our microwave 3, wave 4, and then it was a 1, 2. You can't see it on this big time frame chart, but there's a little pullback there for its very shallow wave 4. So this white 3 is here, wave 4 is here, and we've already completed the bigger wave 3, which means this pullback that we're in is actually a bigger wave 4. Okay, so it's a difference of 1 degree. It's a difference of this was 5 waves up completed. We obviously got a very big surge at the end after shallow wave 4. So it is possible that this is 1, 2, micro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has already completed. We're in the wave 4 before, which means that the next leg higher around the 2,500 level is likely to be a completed structure, meaning wave 1 of the low is complete, and then we should see a significant pullback in the wave 2 before gold can go to silly levels. So this is certainly possible. And if I look detailed, if this is wave 4, well, then we've got, this wasn't the bottom of wave 4, this was the A wave, the A, B, and now we're in the C wave towards the $1,900, $2,000 level in the C of B. And then the C wave down towards the 1,500, 1,550 level for wave 4 before we get the push towards 2,300, 2,400, around that level to complete this whole structure. So that's something I'm looking out for at the moment, especially with this very deep B, that it's very possible that we are actually headed back down in the bigger wave 4. So that is my concern, should these lows break, that we're likely already in the bigger wave 4. And I want to show you something else, which is also possible, is that we have the wave 1, wave 2, so we've got the bigger wave 1, wave 2. So there's our wave 1, wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, 2. This was our micro, so this 3 was over here. Wave 4, wave 5, being the top of wave 3 over here. Sorry, it's taking me forever to slide across. This is our wave 4, and this is a completed structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning this high that we saw, that spike high that we saw in Corona, was actually the top of this leg in the cycle. So while this might seem bearish, it's actually incredibly bullish on the longer picture, because it means that we've already completed wave 1, and we're already in wave 2, which targets the 1400, even as low as 1300 level. And that means if we do see a pullback towards this level, which means we're likely going to start the wave 3 afterwards, which is targeting $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000 stupid levels for gold. So my primary is still a lot more drawn out that this is wave 4, then we get the 5th of the 3rd, then the 4th, then the 5th of the 5th up to 2.5, and then this wave 2 pullback. But it is possible I'm off by 1 or even 2 degrees, as I've shown here. And this action that we're seeing at the moment is certainly warning for at least this red count. So if this does break below these lows, then red count becomes my primary. And if we do see a move into this target box here, I'm going to start looking out for this already being 1, 2 in place and potentially ready to launch in a bigger wave 3. So it's important to acknowledge that. That's why I've been concerned with the bigger picture recently in gold on what this shorter term rally actually means. At the moment, I can't say with confidence that this white count is going to play out, and I would not be surprised by this red count. So for long-term gold traders, I definitely think if we do see a push up here, that this becomes a region to look for hedges, or at least potentially take some profits off the table. Because again, even if this is a wave 3 and a wave 4, and this was a 1, 2, and you're still going to probably get a move up towards the highs that we saw as a micro 1 of 3, and then get a pullback anyway. So I definitely, personally, will be looking to hedge in this region. But that also doesn't mean we're actually going to even make it up to this region. It doesn't have to be a complex A, B, C, or B. This could have been this could have been A. This here could already be the B, and if we stay below here, we could already be in the C wave lower. So gold has become quite treacherous on the bigger picture play. That doesn't mean much on the smaller terms structure, because we've still got great levels to trade against here, and we've still got great potentials. I still would like to see that red count play out, so I'll still like to see this $1,900, $2,000 level as an inflection point. And this is our potential path to get there, with the blue count being wave 3, expanded flat for wave 4, which again would look better with the structure of one more low, so another low towards these levels, and then I'd like to see us move towards this box. So I'll be potentially looking for longs if I see a micro 5 up from this next low. Otherwise, if we do get a washout, the red count is at least equal probability to the white count on the other chart, meaning I see with likelihood that we'll see a strong bounce from this region that sent us up to that 1900, 1950-ish level before we see an inflection point. For gold, we do not want to see the spike low broken. If we do break below here, then I do believe we are already in the red count or the blue count. Red in the 1500, 1550 region, breaking below there, this 1300, and this is the 0.618. Again, the 0.764 was around the 1200, 1250 level, so it can even be a bit lower than this box if it chooses to be. And again, we've seen this a lot with gold. You look at the Corona drop. We dropped on Corona. It looked like, gold was initially dropped. Silver really puked the bed, and then we saw a strong reversal. And metals have had this tendency over the last few years just to see a crash before they rally. So a quick spike down again is certainly in line with what we have seen in metals. So I am going to be cautious if we do get towards this box here. At the same time, I do not want to be long below these lows. I will wait for this region. So below here, we could see a $100 drop, and $100 drop pretty quickly, in my opinion. So just be careful. This is certainly a level you don't want broken, at least till we see up here. So does that make sense? There are obviously three potential paths here that I'm showing, and I want to give the whole picture on what we could see. But the most important thing is all three of these counts are actually bullish, if your time frame is correct. On the bigger time frame, if you're not micro trading. From a micro perspective, there are actually a lot of opportunities here. It's good to know the potential roadmaps. That doesn't stop us from trading it or taking potential entries. But I want to acknowledge that gold can drop as low as $1,300 or even $1,200. But if it does so, it would be incredibly bullish. It means that we don't need to sit through the next year or so of doing the fifth of the third, the fourth wave, the fifth wave, then the wave two before we launch. It means we're likely to launch a lot quicker from these sort of regions. So this is my load up zone, again on gold. I will obviously look to play this if this plays out. And if we do get up here, I will hedge some of my golds that I picked up at this region. Are there any questions on that? Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, that's good to know.
Great. So let's move to silver. So this is the silver setup we've been trading, we've been watching. And it's definitely, wrong chart, my bad. Oh, I seem to have lost my watch list. There we go. It's definitely become a bit more treacherous on the micro. And like gold, silver has multiple potentials, and you'll see why now. So this yellow line is the do or die for the short-term count in silver. Below here is serious warning signs. And again, this is not a classical impulsive structure anymore. It can count as an impulse. The 1, A, B, C of 2. Here's an expanded flat, the 1, the A, another expanded flat, and the C of 2. I have seen this before, and you often see these fake outs, and silver picks a direction and goes bananas. So it does fit well with the potential that we are ready to launch higher, but I've got to accept that this was a box we drew literally once we put this top in here, and you can see we literally just about touched it. So we have hit the A equals C resistance, and we have seen a downside move. But as long as we do hold above this yellow line, potential remains for a move to at least the $27 level, potentially much, much higher. So it's one of those, you can see how close we came to invalidating it. We held above it. It's one of those lotto ticket plays right now where you can risk 35 cents to catch 3, 4, 6, even $10 is possible from this move. So it's a great risk reward trade. It's a great trade setup, should I say, from the maths perspective. But I can't confidently say that we are going to hold this yellow line. And if it does break, it does give us our first warning. Again, it's not a validation level because of these expanded flats that we've seen. Validation actually comes in below this 2 here, but breaking here opens the door to potential quick drop. And like we always say in trading, if you can eliminate the big losses, you're halfway to making profits. So I don't feel, if you are taking this trade, by not having your stop here, you could wake up to silver down $2 in a day. So it's imperative from a risk management perspective, in my opinion, that the stop goes here. And if it does break, we'll wait to see a micro 5 up form before we look to potentially get in on the pullback. So looking at the bigger picture on silver, okay, so silver is cleaner than gold up until that Wall Street bets move. If you remember this move, when Wall Street bets decided that they were coming after silver, and we got a marginal new high, and that sort of thrown many things up and down. Now, why do I say that? Because if we follow the count we've been tracking, the Y count, you can see our wave 3 hit the absolute ideal levels. I literally called this top out live when it happened in August, and we saw this A wave, B wave, C wave, perfect for microwave 4, and then we never got an impulse here. But what we did get here was a leading diagonal. You can see wave 1, A, B, C, BC for wave 2, wave 3, 4 goes into 1, and then a spike to new high over here. Now, for all intents and purposes, the spike to new high here at this stage makes total sense to be the wave 1 of wave 5. So that's our wave 3. Here's our wave 4, 1, 2, strong move in wave 3, 4, 5 to complete the impulse of the lows. However, what is possible at the same time, again, you can see we've already cut this very fine, but it is a diagonal, guys. This is not an impulse, which makes it not reliable. So to count this bottom in, we're totally relying on a leading diagonal. And you know I do not like to rely on leading diagonals, but that is what we have right now. So if we do break below here, it is very possible to count this as an A wave low, this being a corrective structure for a B wave, and we still have a C wave lower to come. So if this was an A wave, pretty much a double top will be, you're looking at the lower end, around the 21-20 level to complete wave 4. Okay, so you can all see it makes sense. Wave 3, A, B, C, and then we launch in the wave 5 towards the 35, even as high as potentially $40. Now, there is the possibility as well, and again, it's the least likely, but it's possible that this diagonal that we saw was an ending diagonal to complete wave 5. Okay, so that's our wave 3, ABC for wave 4, and our lean diagonal with a marginal higher high to complete wave 5. That would mean we're actually already in the wave 2. So that's wave 1 up, and this would be incredibly bullish. I almost hope this plays out because I think it will give us a generational opportunity in silver if we do see something like this. Another absolute quick spike crash towards the 1650, 1850 level, and then we launch in wave 3, which would be, I have targets in the 65, 75, even as high as $80, $90 for silver. I know, it sounds crazy, right? For the next impulse. So if we are already in wave 2, then I feel we could very well be already on our way to at least testing the $50 level highs and potentially much higher before we complete the whole structure. So I think this will be a great long-term buying opportunity. I'll certainly be loading up again here if we do see this. Do I think it's likely? I think it's the least likely of the 3, but this is silver. You know, you look at the crash that we saw, silver drop from $18 to, from 18 to 10 cents. Silver went from $10, sorry, excuse me, from $18 to $10 on that drop before Corona in almost a straight line, and then we launched straight from 10 up towards 30. So, and that took place in a few months. So silver can do anything, and it can move really quickly. So what does this mean from a trading perspective? And again, if we look at the structure here as well, you know, this can be the A, B, 1, 2, that big drop was wave 3, and this is just a micro wave 4, and then we go deeper in the box to complete wave 5 of the C wave. Okay, we don't have the greatest of impulse off the lows here, so it is possible that this is, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, complete C in this red count. So it's certainly possible, unless silver gets going and holds above that yellow line and really gets going to the upside now, sort of last chance saloon, then I think it becomes feasible that we're going to see this $20, $21.5 level in the C wave. And if this doesn't hold, then we could already be in this wave 2. So this is my first level that I'll be looking at to buy should the yellow line break. So let's take a step back. Hold above the yellow line. We have a potential for the structure to be complete and silver to go on to make this new high around the $34, $35 level before we commence this pullback. Breaking the yellow line opens the door to the low $20, and even if we do get a spike down, opens the door to the $16.50, $18.50 level region. So you can see why I've used that yellow line as a key level, because if that does break, and you can see how when silver moves, how quickly it can move, it could feasibly drop in a straight line towards the $21 level, $20 level. And if it really is going to break down and isn't the wave 2, it could actually go all the way to below 20 to $18.50, $16.50 in a few days. That's how quickly silver can move. So that's why I say you don't want to be caught long and wake up to a nasty surprise and then trapped in a terrible, terrible situation. If you're taking that long, you're risking 35 cents, and if it breaks, be patient for another setup to hold. So I'm still not ruling out this wide count. I still think it would be typical of silver to really push you to the wire before it goes, but I can't have blinkers on right now. I can't deny that this is not looking. This should get going if silver is breaking out in a third wave, and this is definitely opening the door to the potential for lower and potential for much lower. Again, both buying opportunities in my opinion. But yeah, that should be quite clear. If we go back to the micro chart for silver, this 2330 level, 2335 level is the line in the sand. Okay, if we break below here, this becomes more likely an ABC corrective structure, which means it's most likely this is the top in wave 4, and we're heading towards the $20, $21 to complete, ideally, the wave 5 and the red count, if not something more bearish. So it's pretty simple from a parameter perspective. This is your line of sand. I have no issues taking longs here. You're risking 30 cents for minimum $4. If it does break, just be careful, because the other two counts are still possible. Does that all make sense? Or am I talking to myself?
Yeah.
Yeah? You happy?
No, it's all good. Yeah, all clear.
Okay, so it's very, very important to acknowledge that. Now, let's move on then. Any questions on silver? Okay, let's go to platinum. So I actually had a look at my platinum chart, and I reworked it again this morning. I made marginal changes, nothing significant. But okay, so let's look at silver off the lows. And I'm counting this as a running 1, 2, 1, 2. So there was our 1, 2, 1, 2. And I haven't labeled the nano, but this looks like another 1, 2. But ultimately, it doesn't make much difference. I have us completing wave 3 of 3 at that last high in February this year. And we've been in this wave 4, and we actually have enough waves in place at that deal region to consider this wave 4 complete. So as long as we hold above this yellow line, we actually still have an impulse for silver, and I am looking towards this $1,430 level as a next region from 5 of 3, then the wave 4, and ultimately my 5th goes up to around the 1770 level. Okay, it's not end of the world if this does break. I mean, ideally you do not want it to break. It can still be a diagonal if this does break, but I'm holding above here gives us potential for an impulse towards 1450 and ultimately as high as 1770. Breaking below here would be my first concern. Again, this can count already as a diagonal higher, as if it was a 1, 2, and then we have a sort of a 1, 2, 3, and A, B, C. For A, this is a B, and then we go into C. It can already be a diagonal, but I prefer to count this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then the 3. So either way, it still leaves the same dynamics. Above this yellow line, platinum is on a springboard. So I'm going to be looking at platinum again. It was this region that I sold my long-term platinums that we bought at the lows. Again, we called this buyout live in the group. But I have not touched it since here. Yes, we got the higher extension, but that's okay. Don't have to sell the absolute top. And now I'm getting interested again. So I will use this 870-ish level that I would not like broken. If it does break, I'll reassess. But I see no issues with stops just below 870 and targets in the 1450 level. Not bad. Risking $80 to catch 500. Pretty good mass, and I do like the setup a lot. So again, one doesn't need to try catch bottoms. One can wait for this to complete and get the 5-wave, micro 5 waves up, and then you have a level to trade against. I see nothing wrong with that. But this is certainly back on my watch list, and should I see a micro 5 up, I will be looking to take longs. But again, right now, we have enough waves in place to consider a bottom. This would be the A wave, the B wave. We've got the 1, 2, 3, this triangular structure, correct structural wave 4, and now we have that lower low. If I look at the nano, it still looks like it can go a little bit lower. It still looks like it's in a microwave 3 before a little bit, tiny bit lower. But we are in the buy region for swing traders in platinum, in my opinion. But I am going to start following this more closely. I'm going to look at the microstructure, but I'm not going to catch a knife here. I'm rather going to wait for 5 waves up to show, and then I'll buy the retrace. That's the way I'm going to be playing platinum. But for swing traders tranching in this region, I don't see anything wrong with that. And this is my level I would use a stop for. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. So let's look. Any questions? I'll move on to natural gas. Okay. Where is my natural gas? Sorry, I've done so many requests recently. I've lost my place, and I haven't actually been trading natural gas for a while, believe it or not. And it's a pity, because I opened my chart for the first time in ages and literally had followed along. Don't know why I didn't trade it. I can't actually answer you. I mean, these were the levels that we literally were bottom ticking it. It just treated me so well, and we saw this B wave top, and I just didn't trade it. I don't know why. I can't answer why I didn't trade this third wave, but there it is. Beautiful, beautiful chart, and going higher. So if we look at it off the Corona lows, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fact, no, that was a Corona. No, it wasn't. This bottomed after Corona. Anyways, pretty clean 5 waves up, and this is the bar that we put out in the group at this wave 2. And 1, 2, 1, A, expand a flat B, C wave, and an absolute perfect third wave that's in motion and is hitting ideal topping regions. And we go into the daily chart. So you can see we're around the 1.618, 1.764. So we're in the potential topping zone for this wave 3. Again, it's pretty clear this is a third wave. Look at these techs, just straight up, third of a third. So I'm not going to call the top, it can extend. But we are in that region where I would anticipate a potential top to show. And then I think we'll see this fourth wave pullback towards this 3.35 level. And then I'll be looking for longs in this region once it completes towards the fifth of the third, 6.3. Or it could even be 5.4, depending where this tops out. Let's see where this tops out. We can be more accurate once we have a top in place. But again, if this does just keep extending up towards the 6.3 level, I'd be surprised. But if it does, it's likely already in the fifth of the third. And this was likely this sort of wave 3, wave 4. But it doesn't look like that. The texts don't suggest that. So I'm not going to even consider that as a likelihood for now. But the gist of it is, I do think we like to start this microwave 4 pullbacks imminently. And I still think we've got 5 or 3, 4th, and 5th to go. And that will conclude wave 1 off the lows before a significant pullback sets in. Any questions on the nat gas chart? Bullish chart. All right, I'm going to open the floor. Are there any questions or any other charts you guys want me to have a look at that's bugging you, bothering you, or just charts you're trading? This must be the most quiet live video I think I've ever done. Yes, I can hear you. Hi, Sabo.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Dollar Swiss.
Dollar Swiss.
I was about to ask the exact same thing.
Oh, wow. Why is everyone trading the dollar Swiss? What am I missing?
Oh, just quite confusing for me at the moment.
Let's have a look. What's more confusing for me is I don't have labels on this chart. I've definitely done this as a request. All right, what time frame are we looking? I don't know why I've lost my labels.
Right. January 21, you see the bottom?
Wait, give me a second. I don't know if I've got another dollar Swiss because I've definitely...
Oh, sorry, I told you.
I've definitely posted this in the room recently. I don't know where my drawings have gone. Strange. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, talk to me.
Right. See where it says 2021, the dip?
Yeah.
I've got A, B, now we're in a C wave.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. And I've got a 1, 2 at the bottom of the B wave.
Yeah.
No, back a bit.
No, I can see. I'm just trying to...
Good. What I'm saying is we're in wave 3.
So you got something like this.
Of a C wave. Yeah.
Okay.
Wave 3 of C.
And this is
that's just one I wanted to check.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is for a wave 4.
Where now?
A wave 4 bounce. So this is our ABC that you're looking at. So something like this. So I'm guessing you're looking for something like this.
See the up and the down from the B? From the B wave bottom, up, down, that's a 1, 2 to me.
Yeah, I know it. I just want to get on the charts so that everyone can follow. So you look at something like this. Right?
That's it. So I'm saying we're in wave 3.
Yeah, okay. So let's have a look at that. So let's fib that one as well. Again, sorry, my computer is really slow, so this might not be exactly accurate, but give us a good idea. Right, so that impulse target's there. So that's what, a 1, 2, 3 up towards here, 4. So something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I mean,
good.
But let's see what we got. So this looks like 5 waves up. So it can be it can even be a wave 1. I'm not going to go into the bigger picture because I do know that I did have this as a potential bottoming zone, and we do have an impulse off it. So there was our bigger picture A, there was our B. If in the bigger picture can even be a C up here. I'm annoyed I've lost my chart on this. Okay, so don't forget the bigger picture that this was the bottom. We thought potential A, ABC for B, and now it's an ABC. So you could easily be an ABC of A, a B, and a C up here before it goes down. I'll chart this back in the room again. I'll get my bearings, but let's look what's in front of us. I agree. On a microstructure, we know we got 5 waves up. We have a B wave. We have what looks like a 1-2 in place. So yeah, I like this chart, and this could literally push higher eminently in this third wave. So yeah, I do like this chart. Yeah, as long as this level holds here, I see as likely that 0.966 level seems a reasonable target. So yeah, I like the setup.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I don't see any issues with it. We've got 5 waves up. Again, I will zone in on this in the room again, but the gist is we've got 5 waves up. We've got our B wave, we've got a 1-2, and a potential nano 1-2 place. As long as this holds here, as long as this low holds here, even if you want to be even a tighter stop, this 9.9 level, this could be on its way much higher next. Yeah.
The only thing I couldn't count was the A to B. There's an ABC there, but it's not. It's more or less a straight line, so it's not easy.
No, I do remember
From A to B.
This is 5 waves up, which makes me believe that we'll likely see here before this breaks.
Yeah. You see the A to B?
Yeah.
Can you count an A to B there?
I mean,
A to C, I mean, sorry.
I can't. It looks like it was one of those that just went in one go. It was just a constant chop.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I couldn't really count it, but
I can look on the smaller time frames. But look, it's not an impulse. That's one thing we do know. So
yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, I like this count. I think it's a good setup. It just takes a long time. It's frustrating. It doesn't seem to handle when I record very well. Yeah, I'll take a look in the room for you. Let's just take it.
All right, no worries, can you?
It's painful to drag along. Are there any other requests?
Sorry, Greg. I think I missed a tiny bit of that. Someone came into the room. But after your 1-2 eye up, it gets a bit messy for me.
Okay, so what gets messy? I don't see any issues with it so far.
Just off the 2, so off the double eye.
Right.
I can't see a clear structure up off there.
I mean, it looks like it's trying to complete 5 waves. 1, 2, wave 3, wave 4, and now in its wave 5. So I mean, it's even possible that it's doing another 1-2. This could, again, this could be ready to blast off in its third wave. I mean, if this was the low, right, and here's our wave 1, here's our wave 2, and we've got this strong reaction. It can be a nano 1-2 and ready to launch. But I just don't see anything bearish with this. You know, here was your wave 2 support. And again, if I flip that, I bet you that looks around the 0.618, maybe a touch below it. Yeah. So it's in the perfect support box where we'll draw a box. We've got our initial reaction. Again, through this high, and this could really just launch, in my opinion. I don't see any problems with this just yet. As long as we hold here, I think this is going higher. To take a break below here to get me concerned. Ideally, if we get on the nano picture, we can get a 5th wave just to round this high, even just go above the high before another little pullback before it does launch. But this can launch at any time, in my opinion, to put a shot.
All right, yeah, thanks.
Sure, I'm going to rechart in the room. I don't know why I lost my drawing, so I'm flying a bit blind. I don't want to spend the next 20 minutes charting it up again, so I will do so in the room. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to call it there then. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys back in the room.
Thanks for that, Greg.
No problem. Cheers, guys.